And hello, everybody. Jay Wade here, episode of Broad Discourse. And tonight I'm with a buddy of mine, Drew,
Hey,
sitting here at Drew's house, and we were watching the Olympics are going on right now. And he was actually bringing up something that was very interesting, and I didn't want to get into it too much. But he was saying something about pro athletes being in the Olympics. What were you saying, Drew?
well, I'm just saying that, like in 1992, that is, when they made pro athletes being able to be in the Olympics, it just doesn't seem as competitive anymore. It seems like we're just dominating everything. First off, if you watch basketball, the other day we beat China by like 50 points. I mean, what's the point in that? I'm pretty certain that our college teams could handle that for us. They're not pros. Let them have a chance to shine. We don't need our pros out there doing that anyway. But I also feel that there are best athletes don't want to be in it anyway because they run a risk of being injured.
Mm-hmm.
And I can fully understand that. I don't even know why I would take the risk other than serving my country, I guess, through Olympics.
Right.
If I was a pro athlete.
Well, imagine how their teams feel, the owners.
Yeah, I'd be pretty scared myself. That's quite the investment, just sitting out there in an off season doing, winning a gold medal. But I don't know. It just seems like it takes away from the pageantry of the Olympics in all reality. Any Joe Schmo can be a hero, when the pros weren't allowed in there, and that was the best part to me, I think. You don't get that as much anymore. But there's also a lot of sports like we were talking about with swimming, for instance. Like there is no professional swimming, as it were, like say basketball or tennis or
Right.
something along those lines. But it just doesn't seem like regular day people can be heroes anymore in the Olympics as much as it was. I think Michael Phelps is possibly one of the last ones that could be real big like that, just an everyday person, but he's in a sport that doesn't, like I said, doesn't have a professional sport. Technically, he wasn't a professional before this. He's a professional, like we said, professional Olympian, not athlete.
Yeah.
But I guess it just, for me, it gives other people a chance to shine. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see, like we're watching right now, the gymnastics. Never seen any of these people before, and we're out here watching what they can do, and that's what, to me, when I was a kid, that's what made me back them so much. Like, watching that one girl with the gimp leg or whatever, her leg, and then does the perfect performance.
It's amazing.
And this is just some everyday person that's overcoming all these adversities that just make it so awesome.
It's like someone from our town.
Yeah, I expect Kevin Durant to go out there and beat someone's ass on the basketball court.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how that goes. Who doesn't expect that to come?
Yeah.
But I don't expect, some guy that possibly was passed over by the NBA that just happened to make an Olympic team because there was a tryout, not just a pick.
Yeah,
you know, and then hope that you get your best picks, and if not, we'll take our second best because hell, it's Kevin Durant and people like that. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Now we don't hear a lot about it coming from the community, but of Olympians. But something I was just thinking about when you were talking is, do you think it takes away from their training, like takes away from the pride that the Olympians should feel for all the training that they put in to compete in these events? When you compare that they train, most of them, their entire lives, in the training in between the 4 years between this Olympics and the next one. I mean, they train harder than any pro athlete probably does in 4 seasons.
Oh yeah.
And do you think it takes away from them and maybe the efforts that they put into it, and then you got these athletes coming in and just wiping the floor with everybody else?
Yeah, I think it really does. I think, especially, I don't know, I mean, I don't really feel bad that the other team would lose to pro athletes, but it says something it's just the competition isn't as good. It takes away from the hard training that just a normal person can do to reach this kind of a feat, to where, well, well, duh, they're going to be able to do this, because
Yeah.
they have professional trainers, and they have people that are paid by their, say it was a professional basketball team, for instance, that oh, the team itself has trainers and everything else that goes along with it, and then it seems like a college coaches usually get the coaching position, which I like that, but I think you're right. It's just if I had a professional trainer that I could pay and afford to pay all the time and then have nothing else to do but focus on that sport only because I'm getting paid to do it all the time,
Yeah.
like that definitely takes away from it.
Yeah. Because
These other people have normal jobs, half of them,
I was about to say
and
that.
stuff like that, and they're out there doing these amazing things. I'd like to think that maybe if I wanted to, get my ass off the couch and do something, I could do the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that type of deal. But yeah, it's just it just takes away from I think the everyday Joe Schmo awesomeness that was going on before. I mean, people that didn't go on to do anything but that changed the way a country felt about who they were and changed, brought
Yeah.
everyone together, really.
Hmm.
And it's just a normal dude you never heard about or lady that you've never heard about before, you know, all of a sudden they're your hero.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
Like, well, in the last Winter Olympics, I never can keep up with specific names or what events they're in, but I believe it was a female competitor in one of the snowboarding or something. It had a terrible accident. I mean, and I know a lot of those snowboarders and stuff too. They have
Oh, yeah.
bad accidents, but I mean, if I remember correctly, it was a non-snowboarding accident, and but it seems that a lot of the Olympic athletes, they you hear their stories and it sounds like they come through a lot more crap than
Oh, yeah.
any NBA players could, and they work harder from the looks of it. Again, I want to say, I don't know, I'm not a pro athlete, and I said I'm a pro channel surfer and surfing the internet, but it just seems like the Olympian athletes, they put in so much more work, and they get recognition every 4 years, and all this, and then it circles back to what you said, to bring the athletes back into it, and then you bring these pros in for what, one, maybe two sports, but right now the only one I think of is basketball,
Well,
and you're
tennis.
cutting out tennis. You're cutting out people who had hopes and dreams of maybe playing in those sports when they were little, and they could be competitive, but
Well,
they're not, because it's name recognition, and and I think a lot of it is, you know, for our country, we're just, we're going to send out our big names and our big superstars, and not only will they win, but they'll dazzle.
yeah, exactly.
And I'd rather see not nobodies. That's a wrong way to put it. I was going to say that, but just regular people who aren't celebrity status athletes and pros. It would be nice to see them get a chance to dazzle and shine and be
Oh,
celebrities,
I fully
instead
believe
of
it.
the people who do it year round.
Yeah, I think that's what makes it more amazing is that someone that you've just never heard of or anything like that just comes out of nowhere and just, gives you this feeling in your heart that's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe they just did that. Like that is unbelievable. And I don't know.
Do you?
I expect it from the professional athletes
Yeah,
almost anymore. I mean, they're so glorified and everything else. I mean, it's hard not to expect that. We'd expect the best. We are America, right?
true, true, true. And I don't know. I like sports. But I'm not a big ESPN watcher, sports enthusiast like yourself. I don't keep hip on everything that's going on. Kevin Durant, I don't know who that is. I'm kidding. I've heard the name, but I don't know what team he plays for or anything like
Oh,
that.
that's a controversy all on its
Oh
own.
wait, is he the fellow who just left the Spurs?
He just left the Oklahoma City Thunder to go play with Golden State to form this big super team up there now. He's with Steph Curry and yeah, and
That's
Klay
something else
Thompson
we're going to
and
talk about sometime. Is the
oh,
like
the Lakers ruined it for all of us.
it's
Once
like
they hired
oh
Gary
man.
Payton and Karl Malone for $1 million for 1 year, that seemed to just end everything.
In fact, I'm sorry, Olympians. We love you. I love you. Drew loves you. We're watching you right now. Kick ass. Bring home the golds. But you just got me almost on an irate tyrant in my mind. I don't even follow NBA. I don't enjoy basketball very much. I like to shoot hoops. So I don't like watching it. If I can go to an actual game, that's cool.
Sure.
But it's. I was about to say it's like every well not every but it seems like almost every NBA team every year I hear almost every NBA team is like the New York Yankees.
Yeah.
It's just
There's
we
no
can't compete,
loyalties
so we're
either.
gonna buy our teams. But it's like
Yeah.
not one team buying a team. It seems like
All of them
all
are.
of them are buying
Yeah,
teams.
and they're dominating. There's like two or three teams just dominating each side, and it's just so crazy because to me, what I loved about sports when I was a kid is, of course, I was a big Jordan fan, but I feel like the loyalty is what you could follow this team and watch it develop, and these people stayed as long as they could stay and play good, and they stayed with them and until the end. And I know it's rare to find people that can play 20 years. Don't get me wrong. It's tough to see them get year to year contracts every time.
Hmm.
Instead of being loyal to a team, you're loyal to people.
Do you
You
think the
know,
players prefer 1 year contracts so that they can move on and have
yeah,
better? So you think that they're more into just winning a ring or winning. I don't even know if they get rings at best, but they're more into winning a championship than staying with the same group of guys and just forming an awesome, amazing team in a great city and,
yeah.
and keeping with it.
That's how and you notice it and of course I hate to use the example of LeBron, but he got drafted to the worst team in the league, who won the lottery, which would have been the Cavs. But for me, that would be my dream. I mean, that's your
Yeah,
hometown. That's where, and then to go on and do a show about you leaving your hometown and going to Miami was completely disrespectful in my opinion. I'm not saying that everyone feels that way or should, but I'm just saying that's how I feel. It's kind of a kick in the teeth.
I can
And
I can
then,
see that.
but I think he might have realized that. I mean, he went and did what he wanted to do at Miami, won championships, but he comes back to Cleveland and proves to me I wasn't much of a fan after pulling that little stunt there, but that just showed a little bit of immaturity. I guess he was young. What can you do? But coming back and sticking with it and putting forth the effort and really, really dominating in those last few games was awesome.
Yeah, I just I don't know. I always think about baseball when I think about how basketball shuffles and
Oh
builds
yeah,
teams. I think
that was the
about
original sport.
well, yeah. Well, I think about the good old days in baseball when you would start your career, play your career, and end your career with the same team, and every guy on that team would do the same.
Yeah,
And those guys, they lived together, slept together, ate and played together for 15 years of their lives playing in the game.
and I think that players are losing out on this kind of teamwork that you form over a certain amount of time. After playing that long together, usually you form this bond and you know what everybody's going to do. That's why they may not have started off the greatest, but I'll tell you they usually end up the best at the end, And
Yeah.
maybe it's only for a few years and it takes them that long to get there, but it works out. I think really feeling, part of something and being there for a while like it's your family does things for players, in my opinion. I mean, of course I played high school level, but
Yeah.
but also at the same time, I was dedicated to my school and my team. I loved my co-players and everything else. I mean, we played well together because of it.
Yeah.
Once they start separating us up a little bit, that's when things started getting shaky because we hadn't played with all those people for years.
Yeah.
And I think they're really missing out on something special, relationship-wise, by flopping to other teams. And once one team does it, then every team thinks, well, you know what, I got to do that. I won a championship.
Yeah.
Now I've got to do that. I mean, I'm a Cubs fan. I know you're not a big fan of that, but I'm a Cubs
I
fan.
respect him. I
And
love Wrigley Field. I love the city of Chicago.
but they always said they would not do that.
Hmm.
And now look at what we're doing.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
your boys are looking pretty good to go all the way.
I'm not gonna complain completely
Yeah.
because
Because you're looking good. You're
it's
looking
feeling
good.
it's feeling pretty good, but
I don't like what
but
we're doing, but we're looking
yeah,
good doing it.
I'm not feeling it really at the same time, like because next year is probably not going to be the same. You
Yeah.
think those people are going to stay there? No, because some other team's going to be willing to pay them more, and then you can't afford that cap for that many years.
Yeah.
You know, you got to move on and save some money and actually just rake in the money from the win the previous season in the World Series or whatever. All of a sudden you're selling merchandise.
Yeah.
You know.
And it takes away from rivalries, dude.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
today it's city rivalries. It's like Cincinnati Reds, which is my favorite team. It's not our team's rival is the Cubs. It's our city's rival is Chicago.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the players aren't the same.
No.
Like again, I hate to always with baseball always go back to the old days, but man, damn it, nothing beats the good old days with baseball.
Well, it's like any game. You come up with a game and all of a sudden you start changing all these rules and all
Mm-hmm.
this stuff and it's just not as good as it once was. You know, why not go back to what made it the best?
Yep.
You know, that's kind of what's wrong with every sport. It feels like right now.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
football, it feels like it's going to be two-hand touch here real soon, or
Oh,
flag football, or something like that.
yeah.
I mean, they signed up to play football.
Mm-hmm.
What did they think was going to happen?
Yep.
That's why you get paid that amount of money.
Oh yeah.
You get paid that big money because you could get hurt this season, and then you got to fall back on that money. Like that's it.
Yep.
I'm like, I don't understand it. They're all acting like they didn't even know what they're signing up for.
Yep.
You're playing a kid's game anyway. Just be happy you're getting paid to play it. That's
Yep.
I would be super happy to be being paid to play basketball, baseball, football, soccer, any of those sports. Really,
Yeah.
if I could do it, I'd definitely do it.
And as you say that, I'll be damned if it doesn't bring me right back to thinking about the Olympic athletes and how they don't get paid jack.
Yeah,
And
they
I
get
mean, like
endorsements
some of
when
them
the
land some
Olympics come up.
endorsements, yeah,
Yeah.
but they don't have a guaranteed paycheck coming to them. They're doing it because they love what they're doing, the event that they're in.
Yeah.
They love representing their country.
Well, look at
And
Michael Phelps crying while they were playing our national anthem.
exactly.
I mean, there's guys in professional sports, they play the national anthem before every game,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not even paying attention to what's going on.
They
They
are
don't even know what song's playing, it seems like.
hats on,
Yeah.
moving around, talking to their buddies standing next to them.
But that's what makes, again, those Olympic athletes, not professional athletes, but Olympic athletes so great. Is
Yeah.
because they really care about those colors they're wearing. They give a crap about them. I mean, it's something else to see Michael Phelps crying on the podium. I mean, this is not the first time this man has graced the first place podium.
Yeah.
And he sits up there and cries like it's his first time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he just did a service to his country in all reality. I mean,
Yeah.
not as much as a lot of men and women do,
Oh,
know,
yeah.
in the military,
Of course,
but it's brings this country together.
yeah.
You know, it lifts our spirits and it does a service. But that's what makes it great. I don't know. Watching the NBA basketball team out there pretty much win another gold medal.
It's like a pickup game
Yeah,
for them.
I just
you
don't
know?
feel tingly inside about it. You know?
Exactly.
I just don't. Frankly, I kind of feel bad for the other team because they're stomping them in the ground. They gotta go back to their country with their heads down that bad. But
Yep.
that's the way sports go. So what can you say?
Yep.
I mean, I don't want to raise a bunch of pansies myself, but if you lose, you lose. You got to own that loss.
When you just said they go back to their countries, the thought that popped into my head is some of the countries that they go back to, like Russia, where it's if you don't win a medal, let alone like a gold or something, if you don't perform well, you are just
You're
you're looked
disgrace.
very poorly upon and treated. You shamed your country, and so when you said that, I thought about all these poor basketball players from other countries in the Olympics. Before they even go, they know they're going to be shaming their country in the eyes of their government and people or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, oh, it's
They might be
unreal.
stoning us as we exit the plane. You know?
And in these days, I wouldn't doubt it.
But I
But
mean, some people, especially soccer, I mean, they take a loss like that, and it's terrible if you go
yeah,
back home, especially if you are the one that messed it up. I mean,
they riot when their home city plays in their local league. You know what do you think they're
exactly.
going to do when their national team loses in the Olympics?
They riot when they win. They riot when they lose.
it,
It
it,
just gets
it is
worse.
it's true with everywhere with that
Oh,
too.
especially
It's
living in
I
Ohio,
was
and
about
you
to say
got the
Ohio
Michigan, Ohio
State. There you
State.
go, right
Yeah,
there.
it's a riot either way.
Oh yeah, they riot every year and they win every year. It's insane. But yeah, it's a crazy thing when you think about the just the broad scope of the difference between the pros that participate in the Olympics and the regular folks like us who put in all the hard work and live a regular life and
Yeah.
um,
Not to mention the fact that they're used to the limelight, like being in the spotlight. There is no like, oh, we're just going over here and playing some games against these guys. You know, to them, if there's cameras there, who cares? We have cameras there constantly.
yeah,
You know, but for people that
never
aren't,
thought about
you
that.
know, you can tell that these people practice every day and they made it there. They're at the top of their country and they're professional or in their sport, I should say. And they'll go and like we just watched that one girl on gymnastics there on the
Mm,
floor routine fall right off the mat. You know, that's what happens when you're nervous and you are an amateur and you go in there and you're not used to this kind of pressure.
yeah,
You know, those are the types of things you will see. But when professionals go in there, this is their job.
yeah,
This is what they do. And they don't even have to play in front of a crowd that's probably any bigger than what they're playing around here. I mean,
yeah,
they're filling arenas around here. There's 50, 60,000 people in there. And of course, you know, there's so much Olympic activity going on. It's hard to fill a stadium unless it's a big, you know, big showdown like the gold medal showdowns and stuff
yeah,
like that. It's time to go for the medal. But other than that, I just, that's yet another advantage I feel that they have over, you know, anybody from Portugal's basketball team or something like that that doesn't really
yep.
play, but you know, in a normal gym in front of a normal crowd.
Very true, very true. And on that note, I think we're going to wrap it up here for tonight. You got any final thoughts or suggestions?
No, no, not really. I think it went pretty well.
Cool. Yep, I think so too, man. And I appreciate you helping me out here, and definitely going to have you on a few more times and talk about some other stuff. Going to have Drew on here and talk with everybody about cars, and he restores cars and flips cars, and heard some interesting good laugh stories about that, and thoughts and insight into what goes on with all that. So we'll get him on here for that too.
I got a real good text mistake one too. That story's going to be good.
I can't wait. Your stories are always good to me. I enjoy them. So again, this is Jay Wade, Broad Discourse, here with Drew. One more time, Drew.
Hey guys, take it easy.
Say something else for the kids.
I don't know what else to say really, but good night.
Good night. Everybody have a good day, good night, good morning, whatever you are doing right now. I want to thank you very much. I'm out.